back and play it. So, maybe it wasn't a long, it doesn't stand the test of time per se, but it's a good game, in my opinion.
What are you talking about? It's the only Super Smash Brothers I play anymore. It's the only Super Smash Brothers half the people I know play.
Really?
They own Brawl. They hate Brawl. I mean, maybe I'm the fringe market, but I mean, don't just rule us out. That's my job.
Fair enough. Now, yeah, I guess this is the part where we rant about the game now. All right, so
Didn't we just finish ranting about the game? We have the next game in the series to move on to.
true, true. Yeah, let's just move on to Super Smash Brothers Melee. I'm not gonna get into all that.
One of the worst.
It did have its flaws. Just the only bit of information.
It was that game was a flaw. It is a state of the industry. That is a brown stain on the underwear that is the gaming industry.
I don't think the gaming industry wants to be equated to underwear, but yes, it is definitely a stain. I mean, it had some of its finer points, but I think ultimately it may have been the worst of the three.
26 characters and only 8 of them have different movesets from the rest.
Yes, that annoyed me. I think what they tried to do that time was everybody was demanding to see these, different characters, and Nintendo just kind of got lazy. That wasn't a smart move, in my opinion.
Super Smash Brothers was the most smart move in my opinion, but maybe I just hate it because of Melee and Brawl. But maybe I hate Brawl because of Melee. It's like circular hatred.
I think you just blew my mind. Whoa. Anyway, where was I?
Either way, I hate the game.
Yes.
And if you play it, I hate you.
Dum dum dum. Okay, I've returned, and hopefully that will be the last interruption we see. I apologize.
Better?
Now, I mean, like I said, it did have its finer points, but such as like the graphics. Of course, there was a very large time lapse in between Super Smash Brothers and Smash Brothers Melee, so I guess it's to be expected. But yeah, the graphics.
The graphics were the only part of that game that were even slightly improved.
I mean, it did sort of entertain me how they tried to branch off from the fight this opponent, then this opponent that they did in the first one, and actually give you sort of an adventure mode. Even that got repetitive, though. I think one of the flaws in the series.
That was like cool when I was like 9. And I was like, wow, side scrolling.
I don't know.
I haven't seen this in a long time.
For me, it was a return to some of the games that, at the time hadn't had any new releases in a while, or at least, to my 12-year-old mind, or whatever I was, I was too impatient to wait for the new releases. Yeah, but I think one of the flaws in the Super Smash Bros. Series in general, and I don't think there are too many, but that's just my opinion entirely, is that the gameplay did get pretty repetitive at certain points. Namely, the adventure mode. I hated how you had to like run through with every single character and.
Dustin, let me just. Technically, this game does fall under a fighter, and calling it repetitive at certain points is like calling George Bush stupid at certain points. He was stupid throughout his entire term, both of them. And Melee is just repetitive because it's a fighting game. There is nothing you can do about the repetitiveness, so stop bringing it up.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I definitely see your point, but I don't think it was pure fighter. But yeah, I guess there are some fighter elements that have to remain constant. True. Well, that
The fact that it's somebody punching somebody else, that will be in every fight until the end of time.
I just
Once
mean.
Nintendo gets its hands on Tekken, then we're all screwed.
By repetitiveness, and I probably should have said this beforehand, I just mean like variation in characters you fight. I mean, if they, like in Brawl, they randomly picked a certain number of characters, that was more entertaining in my opinion. But in Melee, you just kind of got the same character set over and over again. At that point, it came down to a science for me, and I could kind of defeat them without looking, but you know.
I mean, Melee was like, oh, I'm gonna use Dr. Mario. What's the difference between him and Mario? He has pills instead of fireballs.
You have to worry about those pills, though. Could be anything in them. See those germs from Dr. Mario, the cold virus? They were just tripping on acid. They weren't dead. They just tripped on acid because that's what was in the pills. You just didn't know it. Yeah. Speaking.
Just off the record, I think Dr. Mario is the best doctor ever. You go to him with some sort of ailment. You tell him, I have a cold, and he'll shove a pill in your face. I have sleeping problems, and he'll shove a pill in your face. You tell him, I broke my back, and he'll shove a pill in your face.
Yeah, usually when I go to
The
somebody.
remedy to everything.
Usually when I go to somebody who shoves a pill in my face, I wind up tripping on acid. But that's a different story. Anyway.
Acid is not a pill. God damn it, Dustin.
Yes, but I wind up tripping on acid. I don't know how it happens. Continuing, I
I
lost.
still think it's pretty fantastic that Dr. Mario can use the same pill to cure everything.
Yes,
That's America in my book.
I think he could cure AIDS if he wanted to. Just pop the pill in somebody's face. Now, yeah, on the subject of Dr. Mario, I'm going to get to what I think was the worst part about Super Smash Bros. Melee, which we touched on sort of, so we're not going to stay too
You
long.
mean everything? You mean everybody bought the game? You mean the worst part where I gave money to the bastards at GameStop? Well, actually, I guess I can't blame them, but I gave money in general to get a piece of shit wrapped in plastic.
I'm going to have to disagree there. But this isn't about the nerd
Then I
raging.
let it GameCube.
Yeah, but
My
The-
GameCube is again.
the worst part of that game, I'll have to admit, were the freaking copied characters. I don't know. Look. In my opinion, the worst part was the characters with identical movesets. Which we already touched on, like I said. I just really hate that part. So I'm going to say it again, and you're going to sit down and listen to it. I don't know, if I were to, do a project, Flash animation or something, and just, if I released 2 cartoons with slightly different artwork and no differential animation, I would fail. When Super Smash Bros. Makes the same characters look different and give them the same moveset, they fail. I think the only excitement,
Fail.
I think,
That's because Nintendo can slap their name on anything and it'll sell like $1 for 50 cents.
I think we should move on to Brawl now. I don't have too much to say about it. That section will probably be quick. Unless, have you anything else to say on Super Smash Bros. Melee?
No. Just that I hate it.
Alright. Now, on to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which was released in 2008, as everybody should know. I'm not even going to get into very logistical information, except to say that it had 37 characters, most of which, actually I think all of which,
35 ones suck.
I don't know. I mean, it definitely got creative in the character work. At least these weren't all copies.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I mean, if you thought, let's take Olimar for instance. I mean, you had to think how to use some